Hello and welcome. Welcome, Scott. Welcome. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the first episode and maybe the last episode of Under 10 on Titan, which is a spin off of Titan, where, as anybody that's watched, usually I go on a quest with Chris Ashworth, and usually within about 8 or 9 episodes, Chris's character gets killed off. But now Scott, who has recently become quite interested in fantasy because he's a fan of Lord of the Rings and we just watched Dungeons and Dragons maybe, etc., he is going to go on a quest with me and we'll discover together whether you're better than Chris Ashworth or not. That's the plan, eh?
Yeah.
Do you think you are?
Yeah.
Excellent. So Scott doesn't know the rules. I'm going to try and explain the rules to him on the fly. Obviously, this will be a lot better. You know, it'll be okay for kids to watch this, I think, rather than usually when Chris and I are playing, there's a wee bit of swearing and stuff. But we're not going to do that, are we?
No.
No, we're not. Right. So there'll be a wee bit. So there'll be no swearing. And it's so it'll be slightly different. But we just want to see if you're a better adventurer than Chris. Right. Anyway, sorry, I just noticed there was a wee bit of a lag and you saw me disappear and then reappear from what looked like somewhere else. Right. So that's the plan, right? So the game's called the Citadel of Chaos, right? And you have to go on an adventure, which I'll talk you through, and we'll find out together whether you can cut the mustard. I think you can do it, right? But anyway, right. So this is called Under 10 on Titan because you've just turned 9 years old. So we're going to see if a 9-year-old is better adventurer than a seasoned adventurer like Chris, who obviously has played these games and he's also big into Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. And we'll just see if you're better, right? So anyway, right. So I'm going to get you to roll some dice and stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to roll for your skill, your stamina, your luck, and your magic to see how magical or skilled or strong you are or how lucky you are. You ready? So you're going to roll the dice.
Both of them?
Yes, both of them. Right. But I'm going to talk you through different things. So the first thing we'll do is your skill, right? First thing we'll do is your skill. And for your skill, you only roll 1, right? And you add 6 to it. Right? Just roll it on the ground. Right? We're going to trust you because I can see it. This is different. I never trust Chris's rolls because he's in another city. And go. Scott got a 5. And if you add 6 to that, means your initial luck is 11, which is the second best you can get. How exciting is that? Lucy has just popped on and said, Morgan from Germany. Obviously, not Morgan as in your sister. But the next one you're going to roll is your stamina. You roll 2 dice this time and we add 12 to it. 8 plus 12, which gives you, what's 8 plus 12? You never do this, it's going to be a maths thing. Right, anyway, I'll write that down. You're just as bad as Chris in that regard. Your initial stamina is 20. Your initial stamina is 20. And your luck now, so you roll 1 dice again for luck. That's a 4, so you add 6 to that, so your luck's 10. Right, so you've got a skill of 11, a stamina of 20, and a luck of 10. And now we're going to roll 2 dice to determine how magical you are. Right, so what you do is you roll these 2 dice, and then we add 6 to it, and that's how many spells you can use. Exciting, eh?
Yeah.
10 plus 6, which means you can use 16 spells, right? So I'm going to talk you through the spells now. I think you should just take 1 of each, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 spells, so you can take 1 of each, and then you can take multiple versions of the rest. Yeah? Do you want to take 1 of each?
Yeah.
Right, okay, I'm going to write these down, right? Your first spell, and then you listen to ones you like, and you might want that a second time. Right, your first spell is called Creature Copy, right? And what that spell basically does is if you're getting attacked by a monster, you can make a duplicate of that monster and just get the 2 of them to fight each other instead of you.
Oh.
That sounds quite good. Your next one is ESP, right? And you can tune into psychic wavelengths, and you might be able to read people's minds or find out what's behind a locked door. The next one is fire. So, it just basically you conjure up fire, and then if you're fighting a monster, it might get a wee bit scared. John Tonner has just said Scott has to be odds on to get further than Chris. So there you go. I agree with that, actually. 100% agree with that. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So fool's gold. So you can turn an ordinary rock into what looks like gold and fool people and pay them off with it. Oh, you like all of these, don't you? Well, unfortunately, you can take one of each, and then you can take an additional ones of illusion. So basically, you can make an illusion or something, so people might think there's a snake or something in front of them, and then they get scared.
Mm.
Yeah, you like all of these. That's a problem, isn't it?
Mm.
And then levitation. You know what levitation means? What does that mean?
Make things go off the ground.
Including yourself. But you're right. It does make things go off the ground. Luck. So this basically means if you're starting to lose luck points, this will return your luck points to. Yeah. So you're getting that as well anyway, right? Shielding, which means it creates an invisible shield, which means if somebody's firing arrows and stuff like that, you can use your shield spell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Cool. You get a really good rolls. Skill, it replenishes your skill if you're running out of skill points. And finally, no, not finally, there's a couple more. Stamina does the same. It replenishes your stamina. Strength, it means when you're fighting a strong creature. When you're fighting a strong creature, it increases your strength. Means you're a better fighter. And weakness means that you can basically make an enemy weaker. So if you're fighting a big and you go, and it goes, right. So anyway, I've told you all of these. Are there any that you want more than one of? Do you want me to remind you of them? There's creature copy. There's ESP. There's fire. There's fool's gold. There's illusion. There's levitation. There's luck. There's shielding. There's skill. There's stamina. There's strength, and there's weakness. So you can get another 6. Do you want another version of creature copy? No. You only want one of that. You want another version of ESP so you can tell what people are thinking? Yes. Do you want another one of fire? No. Do you want another one of fool's gold? No. Do you want another one of illusion? No. Do you want another one of levitation? No. Do you want another one of luck? Yeah. Do you want another one of shielding? Yeah. Do you want another one of skill? No. Do you want another one of stamina? Do you want another one of strength? Yeah. Do you want another one of weakness? You've got one more that you can have. So I'm going to take you through them again, and you can tell me if you want another. Do you want another one of creature copy? No. Do you want another one of ESP? You've got ESP, but you can have a third one if you want. Do you want another one of fire? Yeah. Okay. There we go. We're all spelled up. I haven't even done a quest. We haven't even started the quest yet, but you're all spelled up. Right. You've got a lantern. You've got a backpack. You've got a lantern and a backpack as well. And you're pretty much ready to start your quest. Exciting stuff, eh?
Yeah.
Ready to start your quest, right? So you got a lantern and a backpack. I'm gonna tell you about the story now, and then we'll start making decisions, start making choices. Lucy just paid €4 for a glass of tap water. This is distracting you nicely from asking for the manager. There you go. So Lucy, who you met recently, she's watching. John, who you've not met, is watching as well. But long time fans of the show. Let's see if you can be more of a kind of cult classic than Chris. Right, so we're going to start the quest. Right, we're only going to do this for half an hour. Usually Chris and I do it for an hour, but half an hour is just fine, yeah, because I know you're easily distracted. And then if you enjoy it, we'll start to do this every week. See if you can catch up with Chris. So here's the story. You ready for the story? So you have to pay lots of attention. I know you're good at paying attention. So you have to listen to what I'm saying, and then you're going to make choices, right? Cool. The lawful good folk of the Vale of... You can laugh as well if I sound silly when I'm talking, okay? The lawful good folk of the Vale of Willow have lived for some 8 years in awe and fear of the demi-sorcerer Balthus Dire. That's the baddie. In awe, since his power is truly awesome. And fear, ever since word leaked from his domain that his ambitious plans of conquest was to commence with the Vale itself. So this evil, powerful wizard's decided that his long-term plans is just to destroy a village. It's not really a good villain, is he? No world domination or anything there, is there? A faithful half-elf sent on a spying mission on the Black Tower came galloping back to the Vale 3 days ago with a frantic warning from within the caverns of Kragan Rock. Some cool names here, isn't it? Balthus Dire has recruited an army of chaotics and was preparing to attack the Vale within the week. The good King Solomon was a man of action. Messengers were sent through the Vale that day to prepare defences and to summon the menfolk to action. Right, nobody needs to see a cat's bum. Everyone on Facebook just saw a cat's bum there. Just took us right out. It did, didn't it? It took us right out of the narrative. Even my fantastic narration skills suffered somewhat there when we just saw a big cat bum on screen. He knew that the news would inevitably reach the Grand Wizard of yore, a white sorcerer of great power who lived deep within the forest. The wizard was old. It would not last through a battle of this magnitude, but he schooled a number of young magicians, and perhaps one of his students in the magic arts with courage and ambition would aid the king and his subjects. You are the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of yore. Do you have a cool wizard name? No, the cool wizard. That's your name. I'll make it KNOW, right? Because then it sounds like knowledge. No. Cool wizard. You know, I did actually surprise you with that one there. So I should have given you an opportunity to have come up with something, and I didn't say, "What's your name?" He has been a difficult master, and your impatience has often got the better of you. This sounds like it was written specifically for you. Perhaps a little too headstrong. You left immediately for Solomon's court. The king welcomed you enthusiastically and explained his plan. Battle could be avoided without bloodshed, if Balthus were to be assassinated before his army was to be amassed. This mission ahead of you is extremely perilous. Balthus Dire is surrounded in his citadel by a multitude of appalling creatures. Although magic is your strongest weapon, there will be times when you must rely on your sword to survive. King Solomon has briefed you on the mission and warned you of the dangers that lie ahead. One way through the citadel is the best for you to take. If you discover it, you'll be successful with a minimum of personal risk. It may take you several trips to find the easiest way through. You leave the Vale of Willow and the long hike to the Black Tower. At the foot of the Kragan Rock, you can see its outline against the dark sky. Going to be meeting these guys in a minute. I'll show them on screen. So we're getting ready to make a decision shortly, if you're up for it. There you go. Charlie Wallace. There's no way I believe the cat's bum's appearance wasn't a deliberate bamboozle. As stated in the theory Chekhov's cat bum, the story ends with a cat bum related narrative device. The cat's bum should have been visible from the start. I'm going to explain that to you later on. It comes from an author called Chekhov, who is a character in Star Trek. And he had a thing called Chekhov's phaser. And if you saw Chekhov's phaser at the beginning of the episode, you knew that he was going to kill a Klingon by the end of it. The sun sets as twilight turns to darkness. You start your climb up the hill towards the forbidding shape silhouetted against the night sky. The citadel is less than an hour's climb. An hour? It's going to take forever. You'll be wanting ice cream or something when you get back then. Some distance from its walls, you stop to rest. A mistake, as it seems a fearful spectre from which there is no escape. The hairs on your neck prickle as you look towards it. But you're ashamed of your fears. With grim resolve, you march onward towards the main gate, where you know the guard will be waiting. You consider your options. I'm going to do your consider your options face. Consider your options. You already thought about claiming to be a herbalist, coming to treat a guard with a fever, or you could pose as a trader or an artisan, perhaps a carpenter. You could even be a nomad, seeking shelter for the night. As you ponder the possibilities and the yarns you will have to spin to the guards, you reach the main trail leading up to the gate. 2 lanterns burn on either side of the portcullis. Do you know what a portcullis is? It's that big spiky thing that goes down in front of a gate so they can't get through. You hear muffled gruntings as you... This is also educational. You hear muffled gruntings as you approach, and 2 misshapen creatures step forward. On the left stands an ugly creature with the head of a dog and the body of a great ape, flexing its powerful arms. And its opposite number is indeed the opposite, with the head of an ape and the body of a large dog. Here they are here, if you're interested. The latter guard appears to you on all fours. It stops some meters in front of you and raises on its hind legs to address you. Oh, why are you here? You wanting? What are you wanting? What are you wanting? It says. So you've got an idea of a story here. You need to tell them a story so they can get inside. So you can pose as a herbalist, somebody that's trying to cure somebody of wounds. You can pretend to be a tradesman trying to sell stuff, or you can just say you're looking for shelter for the night. What do you want to do?
Looking for shelter.
Looking for shelter for the night. There you go. Here we go. They might just go, all right. So the ape dog tells you that nobody is allowed into the Black Tower after dark. You're going to have to look for somewhere else to shelter. So you can either resign yourself to a fight, or pick up a stone and cast a fool's gold spell on it, offering them a nugget of gold as a bribe. Want to fill them with gold? There you go. You're already using your fool's gold. Let's see if it works. So there you go. So you've used your fool's gold. You just pick up a rock, get a wee bit of the ape dog's dog poo on it. Then you pretend that it's gold, and then you hand it to them. They don't smell They accept your offering and summon the gatekeeper, who opens a small doorway in the portcullis to let you in. You leave them squabbling over the gold nugget. So they're all going, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. And you just go, hey, catch you later. Hey. So you're in the Citadel. I will just state for the record that it took Chris a wee bit longer to get into the Citadel. If you go back to Tight 10 and Titan season 1 episode 1, you'll see just how long it took him. So there you go. You walk forward into a spacious open courtyard surrounded by large walls. Various lights are burning, and groups of figures are shuffling around in the darkness. In the centre of the courtyard is a large monument of some kind, perhaps a fountain. Looking across the yard, you can see what appears to be the main entrance of the tower. Do you want to creep around the walls towards the tower, or do you want to just boldly walk across the courtyard, or do you want to tiptoe around the shadows towards one of the groups of people to see what's going on there?
Tiptoe around the shadows and
see what's happening. Speak to some people. You're very decisive, Scott. You know what you want, and you're going for it. Cautiously and keeping well out of sight, you creep towards the darkness around the edge of the courtyard. There are 2 groups of creatures in front of you. To the right, you can see 2 human-like figures talking under a torch fastened to the wall. And to the left, a group of 4 creatures of varying shapes and sizes sitting around a fire eating. you want to approach the 2 beside the torch or the group of 4 beside the fire?
Group of 4 beside the fire.
Look at you. We're already in unmarked territory because Chris didn't go this way. So we're already making slightly different choices than Chris made. So there you go. So I don't know what's going to happen because I remember what happened when Chris did it. But already I'm like, every decision you've made so far has been different than Chris. And in your defence, that's probably not a bad thing because Chris is still to finish a quest. He still hasn't completed a single quest. Can you believe it? We've been doing this for over a year and he still hasn't completed a quest. But you've already made different choices and you're doing well and you're being very decisive. I like the cut your jib. A motley crew sit around the fire. There's a warty-faced orc handing out scraggy chunks of half-cooked meat to the others. There's a snarling dwarf with green skin complaining about the size of his piece, while 2 scruffy goblins, a man and a woman goblin, are cuddling each other. Aww. Hopefully they're not kissing. Your Uncle Andrew has just said, "Go Scott." He's written for you. So anyway, there they all are there. I'll just show Scott the picture in a minute. But there they all are there, just fighting. So there's the big orc. There's wee cuddling goblins. And there's a snarling dwarf. They giggle and laugh. And every so often, she slaps his ugly face, causing more merriment. So they're going cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. And then she's going, and they go, they giggle and laugh. Blah, 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 blah. As you approach, they stop and turn round to you to look with unwelcoming faces. They go, "Who's this?" They sneer at your neat appearance, and the female goblin whispers some comment to her mate. She goes, check that. In front of the dwarf, you can see an open box. You can just make out a small vial of liquid within it. Do you want to sit around them, round the fire, or ask them whether you can join them? So just either just sit yourself down and go, right, or you can kind of go, sorry if I sit down.
Just sit down.
Do I just sit down? You're brave. You are brave. They're taken aback by your audacity. Rather than waiting for them to talk, you act aggressively and demand to know how to get into the Citadel. You point to the main entrance, obviously a little bewildered by your confident manner, and whisper amongst themselves. The orc tells you will need a password. The password is scimitar. Do you know what a scimitar is? It's a sword that's got a kind of curve to it. You've probably seen them. A curve. Right. To get in. So you need to. So I'm going to write down that password. You need the password scimitar to get in to the Citadel, okay? Again, just want to state for the record, Chris didn't get the password. Chris, I know you're probably not watching this, but I'm going to send you the link after. But Scott's just outclassing you already at every single step. Lucy there says that the password must be more than 8 letters and have a capital letter in it. And these days, probably a number and a symbol too. So it's scimitar, but the I is actually a 1. And the S is probably a $sign. Oh. You ask about the vial of liquid within the box, whereupon they get a wee bit agitated. Do you want to press them for more information in the vial? Or do you want to just leave them and head for the 2 men you saw earlier? Or just head off to the Black Tower?
Just head off to the
You want to head off to the Black Tower? There you go. So there you go. So head off to the Black Tower. As you set off towards the Citadel, although the night air is calm, you hear a faint whistling. Can you whistle? Try. Not bad. Any long-term viewers will know that Scott's whistling will say something about him, which rapidly gets louder and louder until a strong gust of wind suddenly hits you with such a force that you can barely move against it. You shield your eyes until the blast retreats slightly, and as you open them, you see a ghostly female face inside what appears to be a living whirlwind. Oh, it's like a whirlwind with a face. Oh, it is there. Wee whirlwind woman. A wee whirlwind woman. You shield your eyes until the blast retreats slightly, and as you open them, you see a ghostly female face inside what appears to be a living whirlwind. I have already said that. She mouths words at you, which you cannot make out, but some seconds after she's finished talking, the message reaches you. She seems to find your appearance offensive and is challenging with words of abuse. You grab at your sword, but you laugh. But she laughs. Are you going to try and ignore her and continue? Talk to her or use your magic somehow to see her off? Do you want to just ignore her and keep walking, or do you want to try and talk to her? Do you want to try and use some sort of magic on her?
Ignore her.
Ignore her. She's deeply insulted by your indifference. The whirlwind rises once more, and this time she knocks you off your feet. You try crawling forward, but she positions herself in front of you, and whatever direction you turn, you're going to have to try and outwit her. Do you want to make it obvious that you're angry? Or do you want to try and calm her down?
Make it obvious that you're angry.
You are really going for this, aren't you, Scott? She laughs again and tells you she likes people getting angry. In good humour, she accompanies you for several meters. Conversation is difficult. She sees something in the distant shadows and nips off to investigate, allowing you to advance to the Citadel's main entrance. You're doing really well. In front of you is a large wooden door, firmly locked. You can either knock 3 times for the guard or use a strength spell to try and open it.
No.
Remember, well, right, I was going to say remember that you've got the password, but you were going to say knock 3 times. So you knock 3 times. The door opens and a large brutish creature steps out. A big rhino. It has a sharp horn in the middle of its forehead, and its skin appears to be armor plated. There it is there, guys. There it is there. It grunts to you, asking what you want, and demands a password. You know the password, don't you? So you got a choice of 3 passwords. Is the password Scimitar, Ganges, or Kraken?
Scimitar.
Scimitar. I hope nobody's giving you the wrong password. That would be annoying. The creature grunts and opens the door to let you in. Right, moan in. Moan in. You're in a narrow hallway. This continues for several meters and ends in a doorway. Halfway along the passage. Not package. Who's reading this? Passage. Halfway along the passage, you can see an archway where some steps lead downwards. Will you go forwards to the door or creep down the steps?
Creep down the steps.
Creep down the steps. You follow the stairs downwards. The air is cool and stagnant. At the foot of the stairs is a door. Will you try the door or will you climb back up the stairs again to the ground floor? So there's the door down here, and then there's the other door back upstairs. Do you want to try this door or go back upstairs?
Go back upstairs.
Go back upstairs? You don't want to try the door? Okay. Fair enough. Right. You try the handle of the door upstairs, and it turns, opening into another hallway. Some distance along, the passageway turns to the right, and then shortly at another door. On this door is a sign which reads, "Please ring for butler." A rope, evidently a bell, hangs by the door. And you've now got the choice And we might leave. Do you want to leave it there till next week?
No.
Do you want to keep going?
Yeah.
Right, we're not going to keep going for too long, but you've got the choice now to leave it there till next week or make the decision. You want to keep going? Check this guy out. Do you want to ring the bell as instructed or just try the door handle?
Ring the bell is instructed.
Ring the bell as instructed. After several moments, the door opens slowly and a hunchbacked, misshapen creature with rotten teeth, ragged hair, and tattered clothes stands in front of you. It says, "Hello, I'm Morgan." What joke? That's it there. That's it. There you go there. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? He growls. I am expected, you reply. I nearly realised that. What happened there was I thought it was still him talking and continued to try and do the voice and then changed it midstream and I realised it was actually you talking. I am expected, you reply and walk past him through the door with confidence. Very confident. He's a little bewildered by your manner and stammers, not knowing whether to challenge or not. Lucy says, I've got to go, but Scott, you're a natural at this. Bye for now. We'll catch up with the rest later. We're nearly done, I think, for the day, but say bye to Lucy.
Bye.
Which way to the reception room, you demand? He squints at you through one eye. And motions towards a left fork in the passageway a short distance ahead. Do you want to believe him and go that way? Or do you distrust him and go the other way?
Distrust him.
You distrust him. A little way up the passage, there is a doorway on the right-hand side. This door has some strange scrawlings on it, but in a language that you do not understand. Do you wish to try opening the door or continuing along the passage?
Open the door.
Open the door? So brave. You try your handle and it turns. You can hear nothing coming from inside the room. So you open the door to look around. The room is small, with a golden candlestick on a table, but suddenly you hear a creaking sound coming from the floor. Too late, you realise the stones beneath your feet are revealing a trap. You fall feet first into a pit. As you hit the bottom, you roll sideways down another passage and continue rolling downwards. Try as you might, you cannot stop yourself from rolling head over heels until eventually you come to a halt in a small chamber. But the shock has been too much for you. As the world goes black around you, you hear excited chatterings and then you pass out. You wake up in a dirty room with rough walls cut into the rock. Iron bars in the window and the doors confirm your suspicion that you're in a prison cell of some sort. There is not much you can do but sit on a straw mattress in one corner until someone appears. An hour or so later, you hear a shuffling noise outside. Looking through the bars of the door, you can see a lizard-like creature shuffling down the corridor, carrying a mug and a bowl. What's that then? The beast has two heads, which talks to each other as he walks. Its skin is grey and scaly, and a long tail follows it up the passage. It stops at your door. Stops your door and pushes the bowl and mug through a small opening into the cell, and then shambles off to sit at a table across the hall. You've been given bread and broth. Will you eat and drink, or will you call out to this creature? So do you want to take your food or shout to the creature?
Shout to him.
Shout to the creature. The creature is not very talkative, but you do discover that you're in the dungeons beneath the Black Tower and will probably never be released unless you're given to the Ganges for sport. When you question him about Balthus' diary, he goes quiet. You'd better try a spell to get out of this prison. Oh. Do you wish to try ESP or illusion? ESP is where you can kind of read a creature's mind, and illusion is where you show it something.
So it's on.
You want to use use illusion?
Yeah.
You concentrate on your illusion. You can either convince him he's being attacked or make yourself disappear and hope he'll come looking for you. Disappear. You disappear. You can, however, still watch the calicorn from your cell. To your consternation, the beast does not notice you've gone. You wait patiently, but to no avail, and now you start to worry the spell will soon be wearing off. You kick the dust off your feet. The creature looks up and rushes over to the cell door. You're nowhere to be seen. It opens your door and enters the cell, but as it does so, the spell begins to wear off. Try and trick me, eh? Says the calicorn as it grabs you. You're now going to have to fight the creature. You can cast a weakness. It's got a skill of 9 and a stamina of 8, which means you only need to fight it 4 times to win. But you can cast a weakness spell to reduce its skill by 3, but I don't think you have to. Don't waste the spell. It's up to you, though. Sorry, I feel that I'm guiding you a wee bit there, which I shouldn't have done because I never do it for Chris, but it's up to you. No, don't do it. Right, so this is the way fighting works. You roll a dice and I roll a dice, and then the highest roll gets... So you both fight with your swords. The highest roll gets the hit. But you get an advantage of 2, right? So you roll the dice, and I have to roll more than 2 higher than you. You just got a 3, so I need to roll a 5 or more, which I did. I rolled a 7. So you lose 2 points. You lose 2 points. So he's got the first. He goes. Your turn again. Go for it. It's got its first combat. Go for it. 6. So I need to roll an 8 or I need to roll a 9 or higher, actually. There you go. So you get him. You get him. So his stamina's down to 6 now. Your turn. Exciting stuff. This is. You get an 8, so I need to roll a 10 or higher. I got a 7. So you only need to hit him 2 more times and then you've won. Oh, a 4, so I need to get a 6 or higher. Which I get. So you're down to 16. Don't worry, you're winning. You got an 8, so I need to get a 10 or higher. I got an 11. Damn it, you're down to 14, Scott. Don't worry, you're still winning. You got an 8, so I need to get a 10 or higher. I got an 11. This is... Oh, Scott. The dice aren't on your side today. Right, keep going. You're still winning, though. You get an 8. You keep getting 8s, so I need to get a 10 or higher. I got a 5. There you go. There's the cat again. You only need to hit him 1 more time. You only need to hit him 1 more time. 6. Oh, the cat's in 10. So I need to get an 8 or higher. I got a 7. You win. You win, Scott. You win the fight. You defeat the creature and you leave the jail along a passage which runs northwards. So I think we're maybe. Do you want at the next choice? You've got the chance of. You get the cat's here, right? And the next, I can just see this. Hello, right? And the next, at this choice, we might stop. I'll leave your decision, right? Okay. The passageway twists and turns, eventually ending a flight of stairs going upwards. You climb the stairs and find yourself in a short passage, ending in a dead end. As you examine the wall, you discover a short lever, which you pull. The rock face ahead opens slightly and closes behind you as you walk through. You're now standing in front of a door that's locked. You've got the choice of trying to break it down or casting a strength spell to smash it to bits. Do you want to leave it there on a cliffhanger or keep going? Keep going. So do you want to break it down or do you want to cast a strength spell to smash it? Okay. As you hit the door, the wood cracks a little but does not give. You try it again, and this time the wood splits down the middle. You break your way through to the room beyond. There you go. Didn't need a strength spell. You now stand in a large round room. It is lit by a single torch fixed to one wall. There is no furniture in the room, save for a rough wooden table and a chair in the centre. Hovering above the table, fast asleep, is a very small man dressed in a green shirt and pantaloons. There you go. Lucy's back. There's a queue for the shower. And she's also just saying hello to the cat. You cannot be more than him. So there it is there. It is there. You cannot be more. You cannot be more than a metre tall. And you cannot believe that he's asleep after your noisy entrance. You hear a creak and turn to your right in time to see a small catapult fire a missile of some sort straight at you. It's going to hit you unless you use a shielding spell. Do you want to use a shielding spell? You've got a shielding spell. Do you want to try and use a shielding spell? Or do you want to just see what happens without the spell?
It's a shielding.
That's a good idea. Right, use a shielding spell. You cast a spell just in time. The missile hits your magic shield and splatters against it, dribbling on the floor. You test the result and mush to see what it was. You were nearly hit by a tomato. Just wasted a shielding spell. Just wasted a shielding spell and a tomato. You'd have been fine. Anyway. I missed you. In the centre of the room, the sleeping figure is starting to awake. Tense. Cautiously, you approach the little man. As you get close, a single eye opens and looks straight in your face. A wide grin spreads between the creature's ears and he disappears. Good morning to you! This is the one that when Chris Ashworth, I nearly committed a hate crime with my accent here. Good morning to you, says a chirpy little voice behind you. And you swivel round to see him standing there still grinning. I'm O'Seamus, the leprechaun! Do you know what a leprechaun is?
I think it's a type of money.
No, it's not a type of money. Wait, I am a type of money. Think of it. It's a wee creature. It's a wee magical creature. He chuckles and holds his hand out to you. He seems friendly enough. Do you want to shake his hand and try and befriend him? Or draw your sword?
I'm trying to befriend.
Try and befriend him. Don't know how well that'll work out for you, but you grasp his hand and introduce himself. You cry out as the nerves down your arm go numb. O'Seamus bursts out laughing. You lose one skill point because he's basically hurt you, and that was your sword arm. You're becoming angry, but the little man continues to shake your hand and laugh. A laugh comes from behind you, and you look around to see him floating in the air grinning, but you're still shaking the hand in front of you, or are you? In fact, you now realise you're frantically shaking hands with a stuffed dummy, which is flopping around on the end of your arm. As you shake it, you throw it to the ground, but it's stuck to your hand. The situation is ludicrous, and you're becoming very angry. It's just a little joke, said the leprechaun, snaps his fingers. The dummy disappears. John Rundell, nobody wants covered in tomato juice. Well played, Scott. There you go. And what can I do for you? Are you going to ask him the way onwards? Or are you going to go, I'm sick of this nonsense, and draw your sword?
I'm sick of this.
Are you? Start a fight with a leprechaun. You quickly unsheath the sword pointed towards the leprechaun. He throws a glance at the blade, and to your horror, it drips limply from the hilt, hanging downwards like a leather belt. It seems perhaps you won't get too far acting aggressively. So you decide to ask him the way forwards. Hopefully he fixes your sword. Oh, I shouldn't go that way, says O'Seamus. These are not pleasant parts. These 3 doors are the only way onwards. 2 of them are very dangerous, and the other is very smelly. On the opposite side of the room, there are 3 doors, and you see it. One has a brass handle, one has a copper handle, and one has a bronze handle. So you get the choice of going through the door with the brass handle, the door with the copper handle, the door with the bronze handle, or ask him for advice.
Ask him for advice.
He's not particularly friendly, so just take what he says with a pinch of salt. Which would I take, eh? Did the tin scratching them? Which would I take, eh? Let's see. I would not take the 2 doors to the left of the copper-handled one, nor the door to the right of the bronze-handled one. Which one will you choose? The brass-handled door, the copper-handled door, or the bronze-handled door? Bronze-handled door. You open the door and step into another room, glad to have left the annoying little creature behind you. A sudden intense flash of light bursts out in front of you. You shield your eyes and you rub them, but you cannot see. Panic hits you as you hear a low growling noise. Padded footsteps come closer and you cry out in pain as this unseen creature roars and embeds its sharp teeth into your leg. Do you want to cast a strength spell, cast a weakness spell, or draw your sword and slash out at the creature?
A weakness spell.
Weakness spell. You cast your weakness spell. Hopefully, you wait for the creature's strength to fade, but as its teeth still maul you, you're dismayed to find out that its attack is becoming more ferocious. You cannot feel your leg now. The pain is intense. You feel faint and lose consciousness as the jaws close around your throat. You awake to look around. As your memory returns, you're amazed that you can see your leg feels tender, but it's uninjured. You hear a small chuckle coming from above you, and suddenly the whole thing makes sense. Floating above you is Seamus, now laughing loudly. The whole thing has been one big practical joke. You're enraged and fall asleep, and leap to your fall asleep. You don't do that, and leap to your feet. As you glare at the funny little man rolling about in the air in hysterics, you can't help but see the funny side of it too. You chuckle and then giggle, and then you laugh loudly. For some time, the two of you roar with laughter until tears stream down your face. When you're both able to control yourselves, you eventually settle down to chat. He's a pleasant little man. Seems not that of an asshole to me, but he's a pleasant little man. Before you leave, he says, "Indeed, you are a good sport. Your way ahead is fraught with danger, though, but perhaps this will help you." The wave of a hand, a sword, and a plate appear on the table. The sword is a magic battle sword and will add 1 point to the dice roll when throwing for your attack strength. So you get +1. You get +1 on your skill. The plate is, in fact, a silver mirror of fine workmanship. You can take these both with you, and you can leave your old sword behind. So you want to take the magic sword, and do you want to take the silver mirror?
No.
You don't? All right. I don't know why you. Right. Okay. So you don't. Right. Okay.
Yeah, just a minute.
Okay. I get the feeling that you're going to regret that, but okay. You may take these with you, blah, blah, blah. So you can leave the room through the brass-handled door, the copper-handled door, or the bronze-handled door. Bronze-handled door. The door opens into a passageway. You follow the passage onwards for some time, and it twists and turns through the rock. You pass another passageway, joining from the right, and carry straight on. Eventually, the path widens out. The passageway widens, and you're now walking alongside a flowing river. Just ahead, a woman seems to be washing clothes. This is a washing clothes. She has a basket of these clothes beside her, and several sets of long johns are hanging in the line behind her. Do you wish to draw your sword in advance, ready to fight, or do you want to try and make conversation, or do you want to use your ESP spell to go into her mind and see who she is?
Yeah, please.
Okay. You concentrate in her mind and you're shocked to find that she's not alive as she seems, but she's been dead for many years. Ever since a raging fire, a curse was put on her by Balthasar himself for failing to launder his robes in time for an important meeting, burning her to death. Her ghostly body has been doomed to wash clothes for eternity. She's indeed a miserable wretch. You notice that she's growing angry and suspicious with your presence. She's chanting something under her breath. Do you wish to talk to her or move quickly past her? think that might not be a bad idea. Scary stuff. Scary biscuits. As you move forward, she makes a peculiar gesture with her hands and lower her head, mumbling quietly. She lifts her head and calls into the air. You stop in your tracks and see the washing in the line rustle and kick the air, freeing themselves from the line. Several pieces of clothing wisp through the air towards you, and as they get close, you can make out ghostly bodies with long dead faces inside the clothes. Suddenly the clothes are all around you. Some whip their sleeves at you, stinging at you painfully. One pair of arms wraps itself around your neck, making it difficult to breathe and tightening its grip. You're flailing about with your sword, but doing little damage to the ghosts. The stranglehold is tightened, and you have to use magic to set you free, unless you have something from your backpack to offer the women. You don't have some. It asks if you've got small berries. You don't have any small berries. It asks if you've got the silver mirror. No, you don't. You could have given her the silver mirror. That could have saved you here, because you decided you didn't want to walk about with a silver mirror for some reason, like because it's just not cool or something. Or or you could use one of your fire spells.
Fine.
You hold up your flaming hand, running it down the back of the gown with its arms around your neck. The garment bursts into flames, and a silent scream comes from the mouth within. The other goes back off. You set fire to a couple more as they retreat. Unluckily, they're quite close, and you lose 2 stamina points because you get burnt. But you walk carefully forward, you hold the rest of the ghosts at bay, and then you safely pass the woman. You'd have done that with minimum fuss if you just picked up the silver mirror. Just telling you. There you go, Lucy. I just noticed this a wee bit late. It said, take the mirror, Scott, but it's too late. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not supposed to influence you, but of course these guys can, so I wish I'd noticed that earlier. But anyway, the path alongside the river goes for several meters and then cuts back into the rock. You follow the path for some time. Some way along the passage, you arrive at a 4-way junction. You take a path to the north, which eventually leads to a large wooden door. You can hear nothing by listening to the keyhole. Do you wish to try and open the door quietly or charge the door down? Do you want to try and open the door quietly or try and break the door down?
Open it quietly.
As you... Oh, I went to the wrong one there nearly. Did charge the door. The handle turns and you step in to a dark room. You look around the room. It is lit only by your torch. Although it's a fairly large room, it has little furniture in it. Although a large boulder sliced flat resembles a table, and a smaller rock forms a sort of stool behind it. In one corner, a pile of rocks are held together with mud. You cannot imagine a purpose, although they support 3 large wooden chests. Then you jump with fright as your torch lights up a large creature, seemingly made of rock itself. Do you see it? Standing by the door. Here it is here. If a mirror breaks, that's 7 years bad luck. It is roughly human-shaped, and although somewhat larger, its eyes are staring at you, but you cannot be sure if it's actually seeing you. Do you wish to run for the other door, try and speak to the creature, or move towards the boxes?
Speak to the creature.
Speak to the creature. The creature is apparently deaf-mute. You hail it in all languages you know, but it continues to stand silently. You make a move towards the centre of the room. At your first movement, the creature seems to break from its trance and step towards you. Seeing this, you can either run for the door at the far end of the room or head for the boxes and risk taking on this silent giant.
Run to the door.
You want to run to the door? You manage to get to the door and you step towards it into the passageway, which runs eastward for several meters and then ends at the foot of a staircase. You climb the stairs and eventually find yourself in a narrow passageway. A short distance ahead, you can see an opening into a large well-lit room. You press on forwards. This is definitely going to be the point where we stop, right? Okay, we've been going on for nearly an hour. You know? And this is a point where Chris reached and stopped. So you've not got past where Chris got to yet, but you're doing well, and we can try again. We can try to continue next week. Okay?
Yeah.
So here we go. The room you're in is some sort of grand dining hall. There's a long table, large enough to seat 40 or 50 people, standing in the centre, edged with chairs. Various doors and passageways lead from the room, but you're particularly interested in two wide staircases which lead upwards to either end of a balcony overlooking the hall. Paintings and suits of armour decorate the walls. The room is empty. It's the room there. So we're going to leave you on this cliffhanger, and we'll remind you of it next week. You've got the choice to go up the left-hand staircase, the right-hand staircase, investigate the paintings, or investigate the suits of armour.
Investigate the suits of armour.
You've got a week to decide. Do you want to do it? You want to make that decision now? You're going to just, right, after this, we're definitely stopping, but you're supposed to decide that in a week. You jumped the gun. The suits of armour are a variety of shapes and sizes, and you shiver to think of the strange creatures they must have been made for. Perhaps you may yet come across some of them. If you examine one particular grand suit, its hand suddenly rises and whacks you across the face. You stagger back, spitting blood, and lose 2 stamina points. Stamina's down to 8. So your stamina is now it's under half of what it was. So my advice to you at some point, just as a reminder, is to maybe use your stamina spell to bring it back up to, if you use your stamina spell right now, it'll bring it back up to 14, but you might not want to do it yet. But it's just a reminder that it's there. The armour makes no further move, and you decide it might be prudent to continue upstairs. You either go up the left-hand staircase or the right-hand staircase.
The left.
You're keeping going, aren't you? The staircase creaks as your foot falls onto it. You try to ascend as quietly as possible, but the old timbers groan under your weight. Suddenly, one of the stairs clicks as if to trigger a switch of some kind. To your surprise, all of the stairs go and flick downwards. You're now standing on a smooth, steep slope. Try as you might, you cannot keep your balance, and you fall down the slope, tumbling head over heels. You have the choice right now of using your levitation spell or just letting yourself fall.
I'm using my levitation.
You want to use your levitation spell? Use your levitation spell. You're firing through these spells. You fly up and land. And there you go. Scott, if you don't stop, your dad, he won't stop, and you miss school tomorrow. You don't mind missing school right now, do you? Along the balcony are 3 doors. Do you wish to try the door to your left, the door in the centre, or the door to your right?
The door to your right.
This is definitely the last choice we're making, okay? I'm serious. I'm not even going to give you the choices. Right? The door to your right. So here we go. The door opens and you enter the room. It's quite large and is decorated with various carvings. It looks something like something from an artist studio, and a number of unfinished stone statues line one wall. In the centre of the room is a large stone gargoyle standing on a stone carved box. There it is there. It is there. As you enter the room, the creature creaks as its head turns towards you. Slowly it comes alive, hopping down from its pedestal. It blocks your way through the room to the door on the far side. And you've got the choices. And you don't tell me the answers, but your choices are to draw your sword in advance, prepare to cast a spell, look through your bag for something to use, or nip out of the room. and try the middle door, but don't give me those choices. That's us. That's the first episode of Under 10 on Titan. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
I think you did quite well. Feel free to share or give us comments on how you think that went. I think you found your feet very quickly. Well done. Right. Anyway, we're going to go now. That was the first episode. You're already doing better than Chris, in my opinion. This isn't going to work the same way it does with Chris and I. So I just want to end by saying this has been Scott Carruthers. And I've been John Carruthers. See you later. Bye-bye.